Drinkwater podcast. We're back.
Drinkwater podcast. We are back.
It's been about a month.
Yeah.
Little hiatus.
You've been off in the what do they call Europe? Is there any names for it?
Europa.
You've been overseas.
Overseas. Qantas. One way and back.
You've been back for a week. You got a lot of. We'll get into some of your travels, some of your
Yeah, we can
experiences
get there
there.
eventually.
We've got a special guest.
Hey,
Jackson,
And I think we know this guy. He's been on before,
I've been on before. Thanks for having me on,
welcome back.
fellas.
fellas. It's very strange because we've just been going very, very in depth with like a very full on conversation, and now we just
Now
like,
we're-
Let's get down to what everyone wants to hear about.
yeah,
God.
G-O-D. Gold
Is
oil
he real?
drugs.
Is this all?
I wonder if back in the day, like in like the 1700s or whatever, there were people that would go like door knocking and tell people why God isn't real.
Get their heads cut off.
Have you heard the bad word? Have you heard the bad word? We're not going nowheres.
No one's coming to see.
That's actually a really good bit. That's just straight up almost material. Did you hear the bad word? The way that's set up is just classic.
Good practice.
You know what I was gonna say? What a really good argument is though, like when you go to sleep
Yeah.
and you're unconscious, that's pretty close to being dead.
Yes.
Right, but you dream a little bit. Maybe that's like a gateway into like where you're gonna be. I have nightmares every night. I have nightmares every night.
Yes.
Is that true? Or is
Yeah,
that a
yeah,
joke?
yeah.
You're a big
No,
nightmare
I'm
guy.
a big nightmare
Yeah,
guy.
I only found this
Wow.
out like
Yeah.
a few days ago. He mentioned he was a big nightmare guy.
But I'm also a big fan of nightmares.
which is even. But you're not having terrifying. You're not like waking up in a cold sweat
Sweating.
often.
Yeah.
But
How
not often.
oftenly? 7 nights a week.
If I dream, there's probably a 80% chance it's a nightmare.
Wow. How
Scary
scary.
way
Like
to
you
live.
wake up like, oh gosh, I'm glad that's over.
Probably 3 times a month. It's like shocking.
3 times a month.
Yes. Like I had,
And then maybe, 2 a week or something?
depends how much I'm dreaming. How do you dream? What helps
I
dreaming?
was thinking about this. What's the difference between lying in bed with your eyes closed and dreaming?
When you're sleeping,
You don't
when
dream.
You're not.
Yeah, you have to remember your dream.
But
You
what's the difference?
It's
Are
when
you
you're
still
sleeping.
going to charge? Is your body going to... If you just lie there with your eyes closed?
What happens
Oh.
is like
what's happening?
No, you're talking about sleeping or not dreaming. You're saying lying there with your eyes closed. But
Like, you lie there, your eyes are closed, and then you're
I-
asleep or
I
something.
think
What if you just lay there all night with your eyes closed? Would you still be like,
you don't
Nah,
though,
nah.
because you
Good
probably get like
rap.
10%. Like it's better than staying with like your eyes open.
Yeah.
But like 100% is actually falling asleep. 10% is laying
because
there
if
with
you're lying there with your eyes open and someone walks in the room, you're gonna be like, you're gonna open your eyes.
Like-
I'm asleep.
like burglars.
Yeah,
It's just like coming into your room and they just see you. You're just like,
I'm charging.
My charger's on.
what's up, dude? No, I heard you. I've literally heard you for 5 minutes. You got what you need?
I crashed on the couch in my house a couple weeks ago, and I woke up and it was like 9 a.m. and multiple people had like my housemates had like walked through there, and I was like, I should not ever go to sleep. This is terrifying. I should just charge.
I think there are a lot of people that believe in that. A lot of like the army, like vets and stuff like that. Big military people is like, I don't sleep.
Yeah, but they
I'm
got
always on
PTSD, bro. That's why they're not going to sleep. You know?
Or even just in the military as well. You're just not meant to sleep. You got to always be ready.
A lot. I feel like some people feel like they're at the thing if they hear a noise, you're out.
I'm kind of that dude. If someone would literally ask me a question when I'm fast asleep, they'd be like, "Hey, what are you doing for the day?" I'm not really sure. I think I'm probably just going to go to.
And you're really honest as well.
Yeah, I'm honest.
Like, how many inches is your penis?
It's perfectly enough.
We're maturing. I wanted to say something a lot more crude, and I just didn't.
Yeah, it's weird.
I just said
owned
something
it.
less funny. That's the trade-off, isn't it?
That's the scary thing. We've even noticed that doing a podcast, just the whole idea of you just become less funny.
When you pull yourself back
Yeah.
a bit. You're like, oh, well, I can't say that. Cause
Yeah. That'd be really funny if I said that, but also it's a bit crude.
It's like getting in a
that
street
could be
fight.
taken out of context.
Yeah.
It's like getting in a street fight, and you're like, I could have killed that guy.
But now they're broken arm.
You got a
Yeah,
point.
I'm
I
in
always
hospital.
think that. Imagine you're in this this fight of passion, this guy, and you could kill him, but you don't. No one dies like usually from street fights.
Mm.
You come across your enemy, and it's like he's on the ground. and he's like knocked out, and you just want to, you could just smash him in his, you could just stomp on his face and he's gone forever. But you don't. Everyone's got that Batman in him. You just leave them there.
That Batman in him.
No one
Yeah.
wants to cross the line. This actually goes into what we were talking about. I don't believe there's an objective morality.
Oh, okay. Let's go into that. I like
think-
that a lot. That's a good.
I
That's a
think
good talking point.
The only reason people don't do that is because they believe in a society and they believe that society will benefit them if they play by the rules of a society.
So you don't believe in a good and a bad. It is objective.
It is subjective, yeah.
No,
No, I don't not believe in it. It doesn't exist.
This
Yeah,
is-
you don't believe in
Let's
it.
strap up, folks. This is going
Let's
to be a
strap
long.
Yeah.
up. This is good. So there's no such thing as good and evil. It's
Correct.
depending on the person's perspective. But is there an overarching good and evil?
My own. Because that's the only one that I understand fully. And even then, I don't understand it. I don't think anyone really does.
If you objectively look at life, there's an idea of survival. Survival is the thing you're just meant to do. Because the idea of feeling this unpleasant sensation when you don't survive, just looking at it objectively, well, I can't be doing that.
I'm just
This
smiling
thing
because
feels...
this is just a 2-on-1
Yeah,
right now.
to be honest,
Straight away.
But
we
do you
got
believe
it,
in
we got it.
objective good and evil?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it just comes down to existence.
And it goes into there's the easiest one where I'll have to watch what I say. But say a pedophile makes CP, is that good or evil? Isn't it only evil? Even from their perspective, surely they know they're doing this horrible thing. Even though it's to fill their urge, they still even know this is objectively just evil.
It's like, dude, this is messed up what I'm doing right
Yeah.
now.
I don't agree with what they're doing.
Just to put that out there.
No.
No,
Yes
no.
or no? Yes or no? Is CP good or bad? Just
I
put
can
it
tell
on
you
that.
from my own opinion,
Yeah.
which is the widely held opinion that it's okay in some circumstance. No, I'm joking. It's clearly, I believe that it's bad personally, but that doesn't make it objectively bad. And it,
So you don't think that they think it's bad because they know it's.
I don't know what they
objectively-
think. They're fucking pedophiles,
But
dude.
they're trying to cover it
I
up,
don't really-
right? They're trying so hard
Because they're going to get in
cover it up.
trouble.
And it's just because they're scared of getting caught. So if they weren't
Yeah.
going to get caught, they'll be like, "This is actually fine. I'm not hurting someone. I'm not going to traumatize this person for the rest of my life, of their life, and completely ruin any sense of innocence. And they'll probably kill themselves one day, or never ever be happy, and be stuck with this horrible thing. Potentially, what happened to me, and that's why I now sadly am like this. And I don't want to be like this. I'm just burdened with this evilness. And I'm almost convinced that like a large number of suicides are people that have this and are almost good in a way. And they're like, I could get to a point where maybe one time I can't control myself and I can't even imagine doing that. So I just want to end it.
What's going on though? Like, how did that start? Was that because you're a man of God? Is that your God that's done that
How did what
for
start?
a reason? Someone being attracted to underage people.
Right. So why is that even a thing?
Yeah, why is that a thing?
Well, is that a natural evolution? Is that it's hard to say. I can't really say off the top of my head.
It's
To be
not.
honest.
It's not inherently an evil thing. I disagree with it because I was raised in a way where I feel compassion for people that are weaker, and I don't think it's fair to take advantage of someone in that way.
Yeah.
So I subjectively believe that it's wrong.
Yeah.
That's it.
I think it's an illness on society completely that could be eradicated potentially. We just don't know enough about it yet. And I've like watched some documentaries where they kind of do know quite a lot about it now. They've discovered what actually happens in the brain, and that breaks. So you're like, when you see a kid, you're like, oh, he's so cute. Like, look, kids are so cute, and that cuteness factor gets switched
Yeah.
with your sexual factor, and it's a horrific thing that happens. Like that part of the brain that should feel cuteness lights up the sexual urge now. So it's just
Yeah.
broken.
And then you see Megan
Like,
Fox.
simple.
You see Megan Fox, and you're like,
cute.
Oh, no. Gal Gadot, you're like, oh, look at her.
So I feel like it's just it's a mistake, this horrible thing that we could fix. That something went wrong down the pipeline.
How do you want to link that with other things? Like
What other
again,
things?
people that are attracted to like animals or something like that. And then you have the same idea of like serial killers.
I think these are freak cases where things have gone terribly wrong, where nature is a force that has free will and you can't control it.
Wait, so you're saying things have gone wrong?
Yeah, it's free will.
What-
Things have skewed incorrectly.
What happens with homosexuality?
What happens with that?
Yeah, is that where something's gone wrong, or
I feel like for something like that, where it doesn't harm anyone and there isn't any negative impact whatsoever on society or anything, where it could actually be a positive evolutionary trait, where people have looked into, it can be where there's a lot of kids, so it's this almost to reduce population potentially, and it's this kind of natural reaction rather than this unnatural reaction
okay,
that wasn't supposed to happen, and isn't this just
great.
evolutionary thing that just happened?
I think we're getting an idea of what your like moral compass is,
Yeah.
and like the bandwidth in which your morality lies is like causing harm to other people.
Yes.
Wouldn't this
You,
be?
you think that causing harm to other people is bad?
No.
Wouldn't that be
No.
objectively like a bad
I
thing?
don't
though?
think that.
But you think that there is nothing wrong with homosexuality based off the fact that
Consent. We'll get in. That's
okay,
a
so consent. Yeah, so
Yeah.
you think consent is important
Yeah.
because crossing that is damaging to
Yes.
people. You don't want to damage people by not, which is like, this is your subjective opinion. Whereas there's like, hypothetically, there's like this king that isn't constricted by any rules, can do whatever they want. Their opinions never have to change. They can just live a full life and then die.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm not sure where you went with that.
Nothing means anything except for
Everything
what
means
you
everything.
apply.
But it would have to. Though,
It's all
like,
applied
I think
meaning.
Psychologically, in every single case, like that king would be messed up. They're not living to their fullest potential. There's like sad.
That's your
I think
opinion.
I missed a point there.
No,
as
but
well.
it just like psychologically, if they did X, it would result in more positive.
What's positive?
life.
What do you mean by positive?
I guess by positive, it would be like the serotonin or happiness, or if you look at like the biology of a person, all of the like what is it like dopamine, all that sort of stuff is raised when someone acts this sort of way.
But what if
or
they don't
does
want
these
to?
actions.
They don't want to raise their dopamine.
The fact that that exists within the human body, it goes down to the idea that why is that there? Why is that there? And why does it feel really good when I do that? Why does it feel really good when I activate that and really bad when I don't? When I do certain activities, why do I feel really bad? When I do other activities, why do I feel really good? And I think you have like the baseline, like humans have this, and then you have like these outliers. Yeah, like the serial killers, like the pedophiles, that sort of stuff.
Well, this is what I was saying about a society, though. Like, I think people want to, and again, this is what I said earlier. It all comes down to like physical pleasure. We want to get the most amount of physical pleasure we can for things that like trigger us, things that we like, without risking our social standing, because we're also long-sighted.
Yep.
Right, and then there's the idea, like, people say, if you were going to die tomorrow, what would you do? And they're like, I would drive a car into an orphanage.
Who says that though?
Everyone kind of
Everyone,
has that
yeah.
sort of.
Do you really
angle.
think? I think it's the complete opposite. I think if people are like, what would you do if you're going to die tomorrow? You'd be like, I'd actually just kind of want to be a good person and spend time
No.
with people I love.
No
You
one.
would do all the bad stuff. You'd be like, okay, I want to kill someone.
I
I want to
disagree
do all this
completely.
sort of
Yeah.
stuff.
I disagree.
Yeah, but you're a man of God. See, I guess for someone that wouldn't believe that there's like necessarily, I don't think anything I do is going to affect the afterlife.
Yeah.
I think it's just like the reason why.
I don't like to call it an afterlife. I don't think it's like, hey, Jackson.
Yeah.
And I've come to the thing where I don't even necessarily.
Yo,
we made it, bro.
We made it, bro. Yeah, you're in heaven too. And I'm like, this isn't heaven, bro.
I'm not seeing angels.
You should have rammed that car into an
A
orphanage.
guy literally just like stabs Jackson with an axe.
Oh, I'm used to it now. But like, no.
This happens every 10 minutes. I can't get away from the fool either.
But I don't even believe in a soul necessarily anymore.
Yeah.
It's kind of like we're all the exact same thing in different bodies, and we'll just go back to that same thing. It's just
Yeah, I agree with
this
that.
creation force that created us, and we'll just all go back to that.
I think it's just energy, but my
But it's
life
like-
is about my consciousness.
Yeah.
My life.
My consciousness.
My life. In the sun.
Yeah, live. Oh.
We might have
What did
to
that say?
limited space remaining.
What?
Yeah. Is that a fresh one?
Red hot.
We got
Oh,
good.
dang.
We got a good 15.
Yeah, we got 15
We'll
minutes
keep
left.
going. At least it'll just go
Wait,
out.
15.
We got 15 minutes left.
Oh, we've done 15.
No, it's done.
No. It says there 15 minutes left.
Oh, right.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay,
Let's
nice.
do 15.
Let's
That's
do another
chill.
15.
We can wrap this up in 15.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah, yeah.
Let's
This
come
is
to,
really
get to a
crazy.
conclusion. We can keep going deep for 10.
Yeah, I believe it's just like energy and whatever.
Yeah.
I'm a cool guy. I'm a cool guy
That's
that
a
believes
real.
in New Age. No, I
Whoa.
explain
Energy,
that with
bro.
your precious atheism. How
I
could
feel
it,
like atheism is the most depressing thing on earth, though. That's
And are you an
What I
atheist?
feel.
What is your take? Would you
I
fall
don't
into
know.
the box of
No, I
atheist?
know.
you kind of do because you don't believe in a creator. So you're not agnostic.
Yeah,
You
you're
don't
not being
think-
agnostic.
I don't believe in it, but I don't know.
But
So you could
seem
be
to
wrong.
kind of.
But you feel
Yeah,
like
sure.
you see more 80% on the thing that it's random, and nothing
you're
really
pretty, like,
means
sure
anything.
about
Well,
your
I'm
beliefs.
trying to also do an argument.
Ah,
You know, like
Well,
I
di-
don't know. We're not gonna have anything to talk about if I say I don't know.
I
no, but
actually
it-
don't know, and I refuse to answer.
But here we go. Like, what's your actual like? What are your actual opinions? Like off the topic of discussion.
Off camera.
Yeah, off camera. This is cameras off. This thing's
Go
about to
deep.
die. How do you actually feel? And it's okay if we all feel the same. And it's because
In
it's
terms of
almost,
what?
In terms of like existence and the afterlife and belief systems.
I think we just die and then we're dead. Dead dirt. Because there are times where you're unconscious
Mm.
and there's just nothing. And that's
Yeah.
fine. You know? And then I wake up after that and I'm like,
Not this again.
again?
I thought I was finally free.
Yeah.
But yeah, like in terms of religion and stuff like that, do you gravitate towards anything? Do you
Yeah, well, like monotheism, obviously.
run?
But that's because that's what I was like introduced to.
What, like one God?
Yeah.
So you kind of. Sorry, I'm confused. You do kind of believe in the one?
No. That's the only thing that I like can conceptualize.
Right.
Because I haven't spent
Not
any time
multi-
looking at like Buddhism or fucking
Yeah.
Hinduism or some shit like that. It's like Islam, Judaism, Christianity. It's all kind of the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Scientology.
Just kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Scientology.
Too
yeah,
much
yeah,
sense.
yeah. Yeah. It just makes sense. Was I right about the 15? Oh, I was.
Now 13.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing that kind of makes sense to me. I don't necessarily think that there is a creator or anything like that. But I also don't know. But I also don't care. My life is good. You know,
Is
I'm
it?
very lucky.
No.
I'm very lucky, so I'm like gonna just, yeah, I appreciate that. And then it's pretty basic after that. It's just do things that make you feel good, and hopefully they align with what society deems acceptable, and then you're fine. And life's good.
That's very honest. That's very real. I think it does seem on paper like a perfect way to live.
I feel like my thing is you should. It's no one's perfect. It's that basic thing. We're all sinners. We're all in this primitive state where we're not perfect people. We're all sinners, no matter what. But you should strive to be better every day. And that starts again. You're like, I gotta just keep. It won't happen in a day. It won't take a week. Might take 25 years, and you just keep trying. You're like, oh, maybe tomorrow I'll try to help some people, or I got to spend more time with these people. I just try to give good to the universe and kind of sacrifice what you want to do sometimes.
You were talking about sacrifice earlier. You were
Yeah.
talking about the idea of love as sacrifice.
Well, I just thought deep about what is love, and I feel like it doesn't really exist. It's just replaced with the word sacrifice, and that's all that love is. Or that feeling is you prove a love when you sacrifice for someone. It's like the idea of a wedding ring is I sacrificed 4 weeks of work or 4 months or whatever the quota is that you're supposed to hit. 4 months of work to put a rock on your finger.
So is there? I guess
Because
there's.
that's how much I love you, and I'm willing to sacrifice everything for you. Because it's sacrifice. Women are willing to, like, not as much nowadays, but back in the days, like, I might die to give birth. There's a good chance I could just die. But I'm willing to sacrifice my entire life to create more life.
I think that's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I think that's a cognitive deficiency.
To what?
to want to sacrifice. Like
to be
that.
like, I'm gonna maybe, or it's like highly likely I'm gonna die to have a baby.
But that's
Like,
survival.
just
'cause
don't have a baby,
but you're
bro.
not going to live forever. You're going to die as well. And you're going to feel a lot worse when you just die and you never sacrificed anything for anything.
You're not gonna feel anything.
I disagree.
Yeah, well, that's fine.
Yeah. And I feel like
That's fine
everyone
too,
gets to that
yeah.
point.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
I
again,
could be
like for
wrong.
argument's sake or for like legitimately?
I don't see lonely people with like no families who you've had your whole life to do it. It was all your responsibility at that time. Maybe you were born in a horrible circumstance, but you're still like, nah, I don't want any of that, man. I'm about me. I'm about hitting my stuff. I just want to take care of myself.
I get to
And then they're
travel, I get
finally
to-
there at the end, and you're like, oh, I've done all these things, but everything was just for myself. And now I'm leaving nothing for anyone. I've never helped anyone else but myself. That would be the saddest thing.
Yeah, but that's an unhealthy person because they're about to die.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If they lived 80 years of being happy and then that happened and it's like, oh no, now I've got a week of being in
But
this
what's
hospital by
happiness?
myself.
What's happiness?
Happiness? What is happiness?
Why would you even want to be happy?
It feels good and propels you to
But
want to
it's-
wake up tomorrow.
It's fleeting, right, though? Happiness? It's
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
always
yeah,
be
definitely.
this fleeting thing you have to keep chasing. What if there's something else that will, once you get it, it won't fleet?
Sadness. I think sadness is
That's actually a really good point.
I think sadness is the default and then we build upon that with happiness.
Yeah.
What about when you find like the joy and the sadness, like wallowing in your own sadness? You have the idea of doom scrolling. You have all these like
100%.
alcoholism,
I
like
love the
falling
idea of
victim
just
to
being a
addiction.
complete emo in life, especially in like a nice place. You're just like, what is so stupid? I hate it.
Well, I was trying to I was like thinking like
the funniest thing on earth to just be so
Self-destru-
negative about anything.
Or
It's funny.
self-destructive
funnier.
self-destructive behaviors is fascinating.
yeah.
It's something that I'm playing around with a lot because let's say even like this week I had, let's say, 5 perfect days, then the weekend hits, a few things go off and it's like,
It's a
this
snowball.
is so easy to just crash this all
Huge
to the
snowball
ground.
effect.
Yeah.
Let's just crash it all to
Yeah.
the ground.
It's
so
always easier.
appealing.
It's always easier to like burn something than it is to build.
Yeah, and it's like it's kind of nice.
It's like
It's
there-
kind of nice to do that.
say there's
as
like
well.
a building, say
Yeah.
like an orphanage.
Yeah.
That could take like 2 years to build. There's volunteers working really hard on that so that kid's got somewhere to go.
Yeah.
And then I just drive a
The car
A
right
Commodore.
through it in half a second. And they're all dead instantly.
What's so funny? Like the idea of crashing into the orphanage is just such a classic idea of an
classic.
evil person.
yeah.
Just someone just doing that. When's
Actually-
the last time that's actually happened?
Someone in my family had a really good take like about like terrorist attacks.
Yeah.
That's a terrible way to like say that sentence. But they had like this idea like it could get a lot more terrifying. You know what? Like
100%.
literally, it's like
Masks. As soon as masks are implemented, like
Yeah.
dudes in masks outside.
yeah,
It's like look down. They're like got the devil masks on,
yeah,
or they got like masks of like Marilyn Monroe, and
Yeah.
they're just causing chaos.
yeah, yeah.
Chaos. Just have people like tied up. Terrorist attacks could get really like
Just become sore.
yeah, like actual just horror level.
Horror is just a horror
Like
film.
let a bomb go off, started shooting some people. Of course, that's horror. Like that's horrible, like terrifying.
Yeah.
But it could be way worse.
So we're advocating to step it up a bit for the terrorists.
I'm not advocating for that.
I'm
just
We're not
saying-
advocating for anything but
things
to
have
drink
gone
water.
pretty good. Even our worst people on earth aren't that terrifying. Like back in the day, they would like do the crucifixions. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Imagine that just like went on.
Yeah.
Like that dude did something bad. We're all gonna watch him get crucified tomorrow. We're like, yeah, we're covered. That was terrifying.
They still have death penalty in
But
a
it's-
lot of
But
countries.
it's not like this event like it was. It
It
was like,
is in a
dude,
lot of countries.
really? They come
Yeah.
to watch someone die?
Stonings and yeah.
Oh, dang. It'd be a pretty interesting thing to watch.
We should go to one.
Like,
Yeah, what are you guys
That,
doing
like,
on the weekend?
next week- Imagine-
Saudi Arabia. Let's go.
Milk Boys is like, dude, we're going to the we're going to the stoning.
Stoning, bro.
Stoning?
Stoning? A couple happy dads at the stoning.
Yeah, literally, you know someone that works at like the murder place.
Yeah.
And you're like, come on, bro, I'm busy on Saturday. Can you push it back a little bit? I'm busy until like 3 p.m. on Saturday. Can we kill this guy at 5?
Pretty messed up, eh? Steve.
Pretty messed up, eh?
So guys, we're just gonna go get a feed or something after the stoning.
Steve will do it
Subscribe
like,
and like.
do like streaks to the stoning. Whoa! That's is that actually going on?
Yes.
In public stonings that people are like,
Yeah.
imagine just like having a shower in the morning, brushing your teeth, thinking like, oh, I'm running late, like running late to get to the stoning. Like,
Yeah.
quick, get your shoes on. It's gonna start. Honey,
Yeah.
hurry up. Hurry up. But where's this happening?
In countries.
I don't think it is.
It is 100%.
I'm just saying, maybe all this stuff isn't going on.
That's all
It's
fake.
like your whole thing. I'm constantly seeing this media about the whole kids getting the transition surgery at like 5 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you bringing up, when's that ever happened?
Yeah, I said that to you as well when we were talking about like Drag Story Hour.
Yeah.
And you were getting so mad about Drag Story Hour. You were saying, why are they letting them do that? And I was... And I was saying...
That's funny.
No, and I literally
Just
said
throw
it.
people.
I really said it exactly like that. I was like, where is this happening, bro? And it's like, you see it on TikTok. It's happening in like New York. It's happening like in New York. And it's like, oh, man. That sucks. You know what else is happening in New York?
Yeah.
Everything. It's like nothing. Yeah.
But I
You
don't
should
think-
go to one as well.
I don't think people are being stoned to death and it's an event like that.
It is. I mean, we're not going to come to a resolution unless
Yeah,
someone
probably
pulls
is.
out
I
their
don't
phone.
even
and
know.
clicks a
We're
few
going to have to look
buttons.
into it. It's curious. I'm curious of just like
Got
how...
T minus 5 minutes. What are our closing thoughts?
How big do you
We
think the
literally got
rocks
4.
are that they're using to
I
stone
think
them?
I literally thought you said how big
Fit in
is
your
the rock.
hands.
Like, what are his stats? How big do you think his biceps are?
I'm not sure if they still do stonings, but there's public executions. I'm not sure if they're being shot or if it's still the slow burn.
I wonder what the reason is for having it be public. Is that to scare people?
Yeah,
into-
it is
that's
to
true.
scare people, terrify them.
They're throwing like gay people off buildings. I'm pretty sure that's still going on. I don't know if that's a thing. That was like a thing I'd always heard about.
I guess if they're thrown off a building, that's more just.
Imagine you just like go to the Middle East and it's like, are you guys doing that? It's like, dude, why? Of course we're not. That's messed up. They're saying you're doing that stuff. It's like, no, we're not.
It's like, no, sorry, I got to run. I got to go put a wig on and read to some kids.
That's what's really happening.
That was not a. I didn't like how I phrased that either.
Like,
I got to be careful with my wording.
Well, is God real, Jackson?
yeah.
Or is this random?
Is it random? Is God real? I don't know. I think it is random. Even if God was real, that's pretty random. Tell me that's not random.
On a scale of 0 to 100, how far have I nudged you? Have I sprung you up and you've sprung back, or where are we at?
No, I don't believe in God at all.
0% has moved.
Well, I don't
you're
know,
on
again.
0, let's just say, and there's
Yeah,
100.
no argument's sake. This is just you personally.
Anything.
No,
that-
it's definitely interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
of course, it's interesting, but
Yeah.
it's only the purpose to
Have
lie.
we popped your chakras?
What are you like 10% more inclined to look further into it, or you're like, are you gonna look further into it?
Yeah, I would say
Be
so.
like,
Yeah.
hey, maybe I could be a bit like, maybe there's something I should look a bit deep dive before I completely just be like, nah, I don't like that.
No, I think you've got a good angle, especially if it works for you.
Yeah.
Then it's like that's fucking.
No, but for
Sick.
you, we're talking about you.
I've got a
Or you're solid.
got a
you
way of
solid
life and like a view on life that works for me really well.
Yeah.
I was the exact same. I feel like that's why it could be negative, but it's why I try to convince people and want to try to convince people.
Are you going to go down
Yeah.
to town hall? Are you going to become one
No,
of them?
no,
Do you think
not at
that's
all.
like a natural like progression?
Somewhat, but it is like, I don't know, when you have your friends and you're like, you love your friends. You're like, I want to convince.
Yeah.
Because
Oh, so
I
you're
had
being a
this
converter.
Exact same thought process.
Yeah.
And I was the exact same, whereas I find so much more comfort in this unknowingly random, potential, infinite thought process. Well, at least I thought I did.
Okay, we might have to cut this
Until
off.
I got convinced by the other side.
But I'm not
And
questioning.
then I got stoned to death. Let's go. That's it.
Drink Water Podcast,
Drink Water
everyone.
podcast.
Thanks for
Nice.
watching. Drink your water.
Yo,
Peace
yo.
out. Last episode, we got cat.